this video, we're going to be taking an introductory look at AI Builder in Power Automate. This is an optional add-on that you can get with a premium license or with environment license, which gives you access to implement kind of the base levels of Azure's AI services. So when you come into Power Automate and you log in, if you have access to AI Builder, you'll see a menu option on the left side about halfway down. It says AI Builder. Go ahead and click on that and click on Explore. And it brings up this screen here, which gives you kind of an introductory look at the various capabilities that are available to you through AI Builder. For instance, you can extract information from invoices. You can get text out of documents and images. You can pull information out of receipts. You can get information from identity documents such as passports, driver's licenses, that kind of thing. You can pull information off of a business card. If you have custom documents of various kinds, you can pull information out of that. You can analyze, there's a few different ways that you can analyze the text. For instance, determining language, determining whether it's positive or negative in tone. You can analyze customer feedback or information, for instance, in feedback forms or emails, to determine if that text is positive or negative, or if it belongs into a certain category. For instance, you can automatically route emails to, say, customer service or a sales department or something like that. You can extract key elements out of various text, phrases, documents, that kind of thing. Detecting language. You can automatically translate documents into various languages. You can do things like examining data to predict future outcomes based on historical data. You can analyze images looking for certain objects. The last one is identify. This is a fairly new one. Being able to classify your images based on the content that's in those images. So these are pretty much what they have available at the moment. Some of them use built-in models that come from Azure AI, and other ones you can use custom models, and that's identified here if you have to create a custom model. Some of them allow you to use both, so you can use either the models that are built in, or you can create your own custom models. And they're constantly adding new features to AI Builder as well. I mean, when it first started, there were just 3 or 4 options available, and now you can see there's more than a dozen different options here, things you can do. And all of these hook into Azure AI services to implement them. You should go down further. You can see various things, tutorials to help you get started, case studies, how-to videos. You can see examples of case studies of how customers are implementing AI Builder in various ways, as well as some of the latest news. So there's various things here. So if you come under models, if you have any existing models, or if you have models that have been shared with you, you'll see them under here. As you can see, I've created a few different models here. Just a couple of examples. For instance, this one is pulling data out of invoices. A couple of them are. No one's pulling data out of a form. The last few are image detection models, where it's something I created to to identify the various types of dice in images. And that's one that I'll kind of demonstrate here in a little bit. And then the last menu option here is document automation. This is one that helps you it's kind of a wizard to help you start getting it set up. One of the best ways for document processing is, for instance, say you get invoices from clients that come in on a regular basis, and those invoices always follow the same pattern, where you can automate the process of taking those images, whether they come in, or taking those invoices, whether they come in as images, or if they come in as paper, you can scan them in, create them, turn them into images, and then you can just automatically pull the various data elements out of that. The customer ID, the invoice number, the line items, the invoice total, and you can automate a lot of your payment processing through that kind of thing. Being able to import it into your system automatically, and saves a lot of manual entry for data analysts, and save you from a lot of mistakes as well. Another great feature is receipts, and the receipt one's kind of it works sometimes. It's gotten a lot better since it was first started, but it continues to improve. Most receipts nowadays, it can identify, the totals, subtotals, tax, the various line items, that sort of thing. The store can go long way towards creating your own custom expense reporting system. So again, saves you from a lot of manual entry, saves you from a lot of mistakes in typing in values and information. Things that in days gone by would be manual processes, and it would take a long time to do. And these kinds of features allow you to improve and automate a lot of that, and make it a lot faster, a lot more accurate, and a lot more beneficial to your company. So let's go through and take a look at an existing model first. So we go into this dice detector one. So when you go into a model, you'll see kind of an estimation of past performance. As you can see, this one, generally is believed to be about 52% accurate. Not great, not terrible, but it works for the demonstration purposes here. You can see that you can use your models in both Power Automate and in Power Apps. You can see information about when you did the training for the model, number of objects you trained it on, and with everything with AI Builder and with all AI in general, the more you train the model, generally the better that it gets. So the more samples that you can provide, different, especially for like image detection, different lighting, different backgrounds, different angles of the objects, different color schemes, any of that kind of stuff. The more time and more effort that you spend on training the model, the better that the model will be. So let's just do a quick test here. I can demonstrate how to do that. So I'm just going to take an image that I have. All right, so you can see here, I've selected an image that has 4 random dice in it. They're all D10s. And as you can tell, it correctly identified 3 of them. The last one, it didn't. It misidentified that. So you can see that I spent just the absolute minimum in training this model, and it still came out 3 out of 4 correct. So not bad for a start. So go ahead and close that out. So what I'm going to do now is kind of walk you through creating an AI flow, and just kind of show you the example of how to use AI Builder to set up an AI process here. Let's go ahead and click on Build a Model, and it'll bring you back to this main screen here, so you can look at all these. So let's go ahead and look at the invoices processing. So it shows you some examples of what you need. So for instance, in this particular case, it's got an example of a simple invoice here, and the kind of information that will get pulled out of it and what you can get out of it. One of the things to keep in mind is that for each of these AI Builder processes, the system will walk you through everything that you need to know to set it up, to get it created, and to implement it in the end. So at the very beginning, it'll tell you the kinds of things that it can do. So if we go through and use the pre-built model here, just to start with. So we'll go ahead and do use in a flow. We'll go try it now. So for this particular example here, it's just a button invoice process, or button flow, sorry, that will let you load in an invoice and process it. All right, so it's manually trigger a flow. It'll have you select the invoice, select the invoice process from a device. It'll use the pre-built model to try to extract all that information out of the invoice. Then it'll create information, pull in your email address, and then send an email to yourself with all the information from that invoice. So we're just going to show you how easy it is to use right out of the box. Go ahead and click Save. Not making any adjustments or calculation or changes to it. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and test. We do a manual test. Okay, those are fine. All right, So now it's asking me for the invoice file. So for this particular example, there's actually some sample invoice files that you can download from the AI Builder documentation. So I'm just going to grab one of those at random and go ahead and run the flow with that. And just to show you what the invoice file looks like. So here's an example of what the invoice file that we're running through here it looks like. It's just very simple. It's got a date, an invoice number, the vendor information, the invoice information, customer ID, several line items, subtotal, sales tax, and total. So go ahead and click done. It's already finished. And what this did is sent me an email with that information in it. Let me pull that up. Okay. So here you can see the information. It includes the original source in the email that it sends to you. And then here's the information that it pulled out. So invoice ID. And with these, for some of these, it will give you confidence scores on what it identified. Invoice ID, the date, the total, then several line items, and so forth. So it's just an example of how quickly you can get set up and running with the basics of AI Builder. And of course, obviously, if you want to get more in depth, you just have to spend the time and effort to customize and train the models, improving the end. Like I say, the more time and effort that you put into that, the better that your output is going to be. So as you can see, though, right out of the box, it's got some pretty outstanding features, especially for things like invoice processing that helps you get up and running in almost no time. So currently, the license for AI Builder. So currently, for Power Automate to get the AI Builder is $40 per month per user. That's the one way you can get it is with the, you have to get the per user plan with the tenant RPA. And that includes desktop, which is, robotic process automation, as well as 5,000 AI Builder credits per month. So AI Builder credits, it's just essentially each run is going to cost you a credit. Depends on what you're doing with that run. Obviously, if you're doing more processing, you have to use up more credits. You can also get AI Builder in for your Azure subscription, where you can get a certain number of credits that are applied across your entire subscription. And if you have multiple users that have the this RPA plan, then those AI Builder credits are shared amongst those users. So if you have 4 users, that's 20,000 total credits that can be used across those 4 users. So it's not 5,000 for each user, and once each user hits 5,000, it's cut off. It's for each user that you have this RPA license, you get that many credits that you can use across your domain for your subscription, sorry. So that's just a quick and simple introduction to AI Builder. And I'll delve a little bit more into it and show a couple more examples later on in a future video. Thank you for your time.